Hey everybody, my name is Max Hart. I'm here with Justin today. We're doing a little sit down. We're going to talk about some Turo stuff, Turo talk. So first thing we want to talk about is how we both got started. So Justin, if you want to take it away.
Yep, so basically I want to say it was 2020, give or take. I was working for a crypto startup at the time, had a lot of free time working from home. Had my personal Tesla and I just put it on Turo. First trip, guy smoked the curb, like messed with the rims, didn't know what to do, was freaking out, I was like never gonna do this again, kept on going, and that car was gone like all the time. So we had to switch, and I guess we had to switch, I ended up getting another Tesla because I never had a car, and that kind of happened like 3 more times, so I ended up getting like 5 Teslas. So that was exciting. Then on our 6th car, we had a renter who had one of our Model 3s. Her name's Carrie Ann, super chill lady. She booked our car and she just asked me, she's like, hey, I'm gonna be in town because my dad lives here. Like, what's it look like for us to get a car? Mm-hmm. And at that time, I had no idea. I was just like, I have no idea what that would look like. She's like, just figure out what it would look like and we can write up a contract, and just so anytime I'm in town, I don't have to pay for a rental car.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. She sends me a car like a week later. Like, she just like calls me. She's like, hey.
After the contract? After you
No,
guys like
we didn't have a contract in hand. She just calls me. She's like, hey, there's a Tesla here in Phoenix. Should I buy it right now? And I was like, sure. Like, I don't even, at this time, I don't even know if I knew her last name because I barely knew her. I like talked to her for the rental, talked to her at pickup, and then that's about it. Yeah. And she buys this car, and I was like, okay, let's do it. So I drive to Tesla to pick up the car, and at that time they weren't doing the remote pickups. Yeah, they weren't like fully adapted to COVID, even though it was pretty late. Yeah. And I had to go in there and sign stuff, and they're like, you're not carrying it. So they turned me away, and I ended up going back. I think they had to mail the paperwork to her and had her sign it, and I had to go pick up the car later.
No way.
So by then, I think we had a contract in hand. But at first, there was nothing. I just had some like super nice lady that was like, hey, I need a car. I'm sure you can figure it out. Wow. So we emulated that process. Probably like 3 months later, we had a guy I talked to, like he does Amazon stores. Mm-hmm. And he told me like how they structure like LLCs for each individual person. They get business credit cards, and they go out and buy cars. And that's like really propelled us. We can talk about that later, but that's how we jumped up from being at like 6 cars to like 50 pretty quickly.
Wow. And so did these people kind of come out of the woodworks, or were you searching for them?
Well, at first it was all renters. And it's like, especially when you have high-end cars, you're always going to have people who have like, they're financially like pretty well off. Yeah. And especially I feel like the people who do the best financially are always looking for different types of investments. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't even mentioning it in terms of like trying to get people to buy cars. I was just like, hey, like that car is actually owned by somebody who lives in South Dakota, you know?
You mentioned that to them?
Yeah, it'd be like offhandedly because they would ask, because we used to pick them up from the airport.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. So like, I don't know if that's against TOS or not. But when we first got started, we like would physically pick every single person up from the airport. Even if it was like a 2 a.m. pickup, I'd be there picking them up, driving back, and then like small talk will happen because it's like a 7-minute drive. Yeah. And they're like, so how'd you get this car? I was like, it's actually not mine. We have like a person who partners with us. They buy the car and we rent it out. And the first like 5 people were all like that. No and then way. They started like doing referrals from those people. Wow. So it's still the most common thing. I'd say now the most common thing is referrals from other people, but we'll still get the renter if we talk about it. Like we could probably game it more, but yeah, you don't want to like sound salesy when they're going to get the rental car.
Yeah, yeah. So how many cars are you at right now, like today?
Let's look. I think we're like, once every car gets delivered, we're gonna be at 80, but I think we're slightly below that right now. I think we're at like 72.
My gosh.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
we've lost a couple here and there, so like people will, especially the Teslas, people will find value in selling them, say, especially like during the summer times, because the car is worth so much more than it was new for some reason. So they're like, well, the goal is $400 to $500 a month per car profit for each investor per car. And if they're up 10,000 equity on their car, they might as well just flip it and go get a new car, or just like take the money and run. Yeah. So we definitely had some flipping through this summer, but now like we were adding cars, losing cars, and now we're just adding cars again, because once it hits busier season, you're like, oh, this is more fun. Like summers suck here. Yeah. So people get like nervous and they like figure out if they don't want to keep the car or not.
Yeah. Do you think if the prices of cars keep coming down, they'll just increase your business?
I'm not sure, because it doesn't seem like the price. You're saying the rental business or the investor business?
I guess both. I mean, I know that the car market's coming down. I mean, the prices, that's no secret. But do you think if it keeps going down, the price to buy the cars, that there'll be more people wanting to buy cars to invest and put them in?
I think as the prices like steady more, it's easier to get into Turo with used cars.
Yeah.
So there will be more people actively in the market potentially. But I think it does not make a difference to the investor for the price of the car, because we were all buying new
Yeah.
this whole time because the used car prices were all jacked up.
Yeah.
So I don't think it differs that. Like they're either like they want to do it or they don't. Like the
Yeah.
price is relatively indifferent, because when they see the numbers, they say, oh, we're gonna be cash flow positive, like in terms of month to month, not counting the down payment. Your cash flow, you can be cash flow positive the first month. Like
Yeah.
after your payment for your lease or your purchase of the car, you shouldn't have to pull another dollar out unless like the car has a cracked windshield or something crazy happens. So I don't think the price of the car is going to differ in terms of volume.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what do you do about like cracked windshields? Do you get a lot of those?
We get like one a week.
One a week.
I mean, if you think about it, if you're a personal driver, you get like one a year.
Yeah.
It's like 52 weeks in a year. So once you get above like 50 cars, you might not get one every single weekend, but you might have a week when you have 4.
Yeah.
And we use like a place called DNA Auto Glass here in Phoenix. we do all the insurance claims to the people's personal insurance. There's 2 reasons for that. One, it's incredibly hard to actually claim windshields in Turo, especially if you're on the 90/10 plan. Only like the Range Rovers, Model X's, Model S's like qualify for above $2,500, and like so it's really difficult to get that. But if you go through their personal insurance, then they usually have $0 deductibles, or like a $250 deductible for glass. So it's super easy to get that. And their insurance deductible in Turo, which you can check, is usually like $3,000 or $500. So it's almost always cheaper for the renter to go through your personal insurance. So we just create a group chat with this auto glass company, put them in there, put their little insurance lady in there, and she'll actually contact them and reach out to the insurance company. So it's very hands off for us. And then as long as their insurance covers it, it's smooth sailing. If they get declined, it's not smooth sailing.
Yeah. What happens from there? I mean, what's the next step in the process? Something like that.
If they get declined,
Yeah.
there's a 20-day deadline in Turo. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like when you file a claim, it says you have 20 days to deal with this with the guest.
Yeah.
And after the 20 days, you have to either file the claim or you just figure it's like Turo can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
But on Turo's side, messaging the guest, it's very aggressive. It's like, hey, after 20 days, if you can't figure this out with your guest, you have a $3,000 deductible that you may have to pay.
Oh.
And they see that, or $500, whatever their deductible is.
Yeah.
The windshield on a Jeep might be $350.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to risk getting charged a $3,000 deductible. They don't know what we pay. They don't know our deductible is actually $2,500.
Yeah.
Like it could be, if you looked at the insurance plans, it could be free for us to charge it. So why wouldn't we just make the claim and have them pay that? But they would much rather pay $300 than pay $3,000.
Yeah.
So it's usually almost always on day 20 when it's like, hey, I know you got the email from Turo. Like we've had people get pissed off with us in the past when they get charged $3,000. If you just pay this today, then you won't get charged.
Yeah.
And then we submit it and close up the claim once they pay us.
Oh, that's great. So people get up to that.
Oh, every time. If their insurance declines it, they are not to be found until day 19.
No
Yeah,
way.
they just won't. It's very consistent. Only one person, this guy from Florida, he's from Miami, he had like a $2,400 windshield claim on a Range Rover. He got declined. And he actually paid for it in cash.
Oh.
I was very surprised because usually I was like, I even told the person who owned the car, I was like, we're probably gonna have to gut this and just get it fixed.
Yeah.
Because he's not gonna pay for it because that's a big fix. And the guy, he was super chill. He was going to like a driveway and just a bump just cracked the whole windshield out. Like a free thing. And like there was like discrepancy. Was there a chip? We looked at the photos. There wasn't any chips or anything.
Yeah.
So he most likely got a chip when he was driving, and that bump just cracked it out.
Oh my gosh.
So, but he said he was going to go after his insurance company to get the money back, which I think he was probably like he could.
Yeah.
And I think he probably ended up getting the money back. But
That's
that guy was nice. You don't get nice guys like that as often as you should.
Yeah. So, kind of stepping back a little bit, you're talking about the plans. What do you guys do? Like, I know there's 90/10, 60/40. Where are you guys at right
We're
now?
on 90/10.
We're at 90/10.
We
okay.
do, I think it defaults to 75/25, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we add new cars, we'll intentionally leave it there for like 1 or 2 trips.
Really?
And the reason why is, I mean, think about it. Like my first trip in my Model S, I had something happen. It's like a jinx. Because Nick, he's the guy who actually works with us. He's head of operations here.
Yeah.
He has some cars. He had a brand new Model 3. It's his first car purchased for Turo. Some guy backs into another car. Brand new Model 3, and he had it in 75/25. So we've left it on there, so if something happens, it's a freak incident right off the spawn, then it's just a $200 deductible. We just charge it to Turo right away. We don't even go through their insurance. We don't even try to figure it out. We just go get the money.
Wow, that's smart. That's smart because I feel like if any problems you're gonna have maybe in that initial window.
That your biggest risk is an accident super early on,
Yeah.
like a small accident. The big accidents you'll make money no matter what,
Yeah.
because they'll just cash you out in Turo. But the small ones are incredibly hard when you're on the 90/10 plan to get compensated for.
Yeah. Have you ran into a big accident?
I don't think we've had a total yet. We had that same Model S. We've had like 3 accidents total, and 2 of them happened on my same car, which is probably a good thing. And this lady hit a javelina, like one of those wild boars.
No way.
I think it was like 17,000 in damage, and it didn't total out. Yeah,
Oh.
and they fixed it. The compressor got pushed to the front of the car, and her insurance covered it. Every claim we've had, we've gone through their insurance,
No way.
except for like very few, and those are like small claims.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest difference. I don't think most people think there's an option to go through their insurance, but it's actually the renter's like subconscious thought that's going to happen anyways. I think and that's how it should work. I think Turo should be your back end option. The main option is like this person has coverage and they're driving your car. Talk to them about it. They'll probably cover it. And I don't even think they usually ask you for advice. So if you're nervous and you say I don't know, then if you go to ask for their insurance, they're going to tell you to F off.
Yeah.
But if you know this is my next step, like, hey, you have to create a group chat, get your insurance policy. Do you have a police report? If not, please call the police because you don't have documentation to file an insurance claim in their name.
Yeah.
So,
do the right steps.
Yeah, do the right steps, document it. So like the cop can be like, yeah, this person did this. Or like the other person driving another car. Like one of our Model S, the brand new Model S recently, they were sitting in a parking lot and somebody just backed up and backed into them. Very small damage, but it's probably like $1,500.
Yeah.
The person got a police report and we talked to their renter's insurance to the other person, the guy who wasn't renting one of our cars, who backed into us, and then they were trying to backstep, but they already had a police report. So that's like, we didn't have that, we'd probably be in like a limbo of like if it's covered. The second we gave them the police report, they're like, please send us like the damage results and they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
So
it's good you learn the steps because without them, I mean.
Yeah, I mean you're in a bind on the insurance side if you don't have documentation.
Yeah.
They'll just tell you to like go kick rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things to be profitable is not having the insurance. Like the losses shouldn't be a loss on paper. Like it should be break even or potentially even profitable because we don't. If you have a small thing like that, like the bumper scratches, Tesla will do replacement cost. When you go to Tesla to get like a quote, like they won't do a touch-up paint job. If you want a new bumper, they're just going to put a new bumper on there. They're not going to try to do a quick fix on it. So you might get $1,500 for the new bumper, and you don't have to fix it. Just wait for a bigger incident and then cash out on that.
Yeah.
So that's one big thing. Like we won't fix the small things. Like you'll have small scratches in the car, but you'll pocket $1,700. But your car has been devalued, so you can keep it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. So, kind of stepping back into cars, what are your thoughts on cash versus finance?
We haven't done any cash cars, and that's primarily because of how we actually operate. Like we haven't really talked about it yet. We like have investors buy cars. We do a revenue share. During COVID, all the used car prices were messed up. So if you ran the numbers and you looked at like an ROI per dollar spent, having a used car has you rank lower in Turo because they favor newer cars, and you're paying a premium on the dollar. And if you bought a new one, you would get the 0% interest rate sometimes, or like 1% because it's a brand new car.
Yeah.
And you'd have premium of sitting higher in the Turo search fields. So even though you might be paying more per month on the car, you're making significantly more, and it usually outweighs it.
Interesting. What do you think about, because that totally makes sense, what do you think about the depreciation on that?
So we've mostly done Teslas,
Yeah.
and the depreciation of Teslas has been very, very minimal. So we haven't had that issue. On other cars, you can definitely see like we have hybrid Jeeps too. So most of our cars aren't really depreciation heavy.
Yeah.
We have like a little calculator. We have a performance report we send people, and we find like the depreciation number that's standard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very accurate, at least in like today's age.
Yeah. Is it per mile?
Yeah, I do it per mile and how many years it's been on the road.
Okay.
It's pretty it's just like an Excel calculator you can just put in there.
Yeah.
Teslas, it's very minimal. I mean, Teslas don't drop off until like they're older than 2 years and like 30,000 miles. If you go look for a used Tesla right now, a 2021 with 15,000 miles is going to be damn near the same price as a brand new one.
Yeah. Huh. So do you see people pulling out around then to get their cars back?
We did. We had a couple people sell their Teslas, but it's just because the value. I mean, you might have made $10,000 or $5,000, whatever, and your car has $10,000 in equity.
Yeah.
So, but most people are looking on the 3-year hindsight. They're not looking to flip right away. But during the peak of 2021, it was like hard to have people not sell their cars, or even this last year when the prices were still high. Because why wouldn't you? You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a great investment to buy a car, make $10,000 on it, and then sell it and make $10,000. Because that's like your 3-year goal, realistically. You know, to make 20,000 or 15,000. So I don't blame them. Obviously, I want them to keep the cars, but
Yeah.
you might as well sell them. I guess I even sold 2 cars. I had a Model Y long range
Yeah.
and a Model 3 Performance that we flipped during COVID.
That's
I just
good.
ordered the exact same car again. But yeah, so just make a little cash flow. It
Yeah.
makes it easier.
It's so crazy that back then you could just make money on cars, and I mean, it's just so easy. Or the cars that you had were
Yeah.
appreciating in
They were
value.
literally appreciating that. It will never happen again.
Yeah,
I don't think. At
that's
least.
that's so crazy. So let's dive into the numbers a little bit. So right now for our account, we have 12 cars. This last month we did about, or this month we're finishing up, but we did about 15,000, which was our record month, which is pretty
Yep.
good. But tell us about some of your
Let me
numbers.
see here. So the numbers vary significantly from the summer months.
Yeah, it gets really slow, huh?
Well, I can tell you here. Let's see if we go into CarSync. We use CarSync, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So
we just started using that. It's really nice.
This is across multiple Turo accounts because we have people we manage Turo accounts for, and we have people who, if they get cars through us, like to manage them, they don't get their own Turo account.
Yeah.
But if you previously had Turo, you can have your own account.
Is there a certain amount of cars? Like, do you have one car on their one account?
No, all these people have like 5+.
Okay.
Like they were actively operating 5+ cars, and they're
Yeah.
like, we just don't have. It mostly happened when people went back to work, like in their office.
Oh, okay.
Like during COVID, it was easy to get away with sneaking around and doing your calls while you're doing Turo. But
Yeah.
when you had to go back in an office, you can't like do the flexibility of what you need.
It changed everything.
So they people would reach out like, hey, I found you on this Facebook group, whatever, on Google, and that's how they got us. So not including those people. So I think outside of that, it's like 50 cars, 52. We're hitting like, give or take 70-some thousand a month for October.
Wow.
So
Do you mind if I see your chart?
yeah, I can show it to you here in a second. Let me pull it up. So October is a little bit slower. Let me just pull up this last month. Looks like it's past month. So it's 6439 is the last number right here. So that's just for the main accounts right there.
Wow. 176 reservations.
Yep, and that will include people with like their own like Turo accounts. And
Yeah.
if you have people who have Turo accounts and they disconnect, so we had somebody that had like 5 cars or whatever, and they decide they want to do it themselves again,
Yeah.
those numbers actually go away. So that wouldn't include that either, I guess.
Yeah. So what is that per car?
Let's pull it up. I have no idea. So we've been adding cars. So I want
Yeah.
to say we added 7 2022 Model 3s and 5 Chevy Bolts. That's like include that number I told you.
Yeah.
So I want to say, tell you, maybe it tells you, 64.3 divided by 52. What would that be? The issue is the moving number. I can figure it out really quick though.
Okay. I don't want to do the math wrong.
It's like probably like 1,400 a car, if I had to guess. Maybe
That's
I'm way
good.
off on the math.
Yeah.
The problem is we're adding cars and taking away cars, but
Yeah.
that's probably about the numbers right there.
That's good.
But so in the past, the numbers were a lot higher.
Yeah.
And it depends. Like some cars, we do have some cash cars. I guess we have somebody who has a Toyota Tundra that's paid off, and she just happened to have it laying around, and she asked if we could manage it. We have. Oh, I don't even talk about this. We have some dealership cars.
Like dealerships own it?
Yeah, so there's a used car dealership we used to operate out of, and they have cars that will go in and out of the system all the time because they'll sell them. But the cars are upside down on, we'll TRP it, which is like a temporary registration plate.
Yeah.
And in Arizona, the dealerships can print it out. So like you don't have to go to whatever, the DOT to get your plate. They can just give you a temporary registration plate and it lasts 45 days.
So you have 45 days to rent that
You
car?
have 45 days to rent the car out. So that will like fluctuate our numbers of cars significantly because they'll add 12, take away 7.
Holy crap.
And that number varies it a lot. So that those definitely bring our numbers down per car.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to figure out the exact number of full-time cars we have that are on anyone else's I think it tells us right here.
That dealership idea is pretty smart. So I'm assuming before they get the temporary plate, you like take the photos and get everything like ready. So when they get it, it's just immediately hitting the
Yeah.
app, right?
So for that 65,000, it was 45 cars, to be very specific.
Oh.
And that doesn't include the dealership cars.
Yeah.
So when we say our numbers, the dealership we assign is 15, I think, in my Excel sheet.
Yeah.
But it varies from like 5. They've had like 20 at one point in time.
Wow.
But their reviews, I mean, it's a used car dealership. Some of their cars aren't like in perfect maintenance shape by any means.
Yeah.
So they're actively finding out. Like usually if you have a used car dealership, the car gets there from auction, it sits there.
Yeah.
And as long as it's getting run long enough to sell, they're good. But they're like actively finding like this car doesn't have an oil filter on it. So once the oil change, like you guys have no filter on this car.
Yeah.
So like that's been fun, I guess. The people are super nice. But it's definitely more difficult to operate on dealership cars.
Yeah.
There's just a lot more moving parts.
Yeah,
And
especially with them coming in and out so quickly. I'm sure that's hard.
And we don't have the cars here. They're at their they are actively at the
Oh.
dealership. Like if they're not
So you're
on
not-
rental,
You're not
they
managing
come
them.
back.
You're not managing them yourself.
No,
You're
we
just,
manage them ourselves. We just have someone drive over there.
oh.
It's right down the street from here.
Okay, that makes it
Yeah.
easier. That makes it easy.
But it's definitely hit or miss because you'll get like batteries will die on the car, like 12 volts. Because like what happens with dealership cars, you know, it's like, God, we don't have these issues with the brand new cars.
But they have them like a mechanic or something to.
Yeah, they go
Work on
to, they actually have dealerships, like a deal with like some place on the street they do a lot of
Okay.
work with.
But that makes it hard because if you have one or two problems, like you only have 45 days to rent it.
No, yeah, I know. But we stopped TRPing for the
Oh.
rest of the year
Did you?
because
Okay.
we're going to wait until like February, March again.
Yeah.
Because they made a lot of money during busy season.
Yeah.
And then we
yeah.
kept them going, and we realized in June we were wasting the days. So you can TRP a car 3 times in Arizona.
Okay.
So you have 45, 30, and 30, but you can't TRP it after that. So like you
So
pretty much
105
have-
days.
Yeah.
That's a third
But
of
like
the-
some of their cars, like people have been keeping cars for a lot longer. Like I don't know if you follow the used car market. It's been super hard to even auction a car off.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are just sitting on cars, and like some of their cars, I could like pull some of them maybe on their own Turo account, maybe like made $5,000, and like that will make them so they're not upside down anymore. They can just
Yeah.
wholesale at auction for less than they should have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that just gets out of it. So that's been interesting. That's probably the easiest way to scale a new Turo account, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's instant access to a lot of cars, very little risk. It's just you have to like make sure you have a process
Yeah.
stated before you ever do it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. The worst parts of Turo will come out with the cheap cars. Like
Yeah.
you get like a 2014 Hyundai Sonata, you're in for a run.
That's funny because that's what me and my brother. I mean, we only do those cheap. I mean, it's funny. We're completely opposite. Like
Yep.
we just you run people's cars. We have our own cars.
Yep.
We do all cash. We do all older cars. You guys do newer cars. So it's funny, but it's just so interesting to look at the different like numbers and stuff. But that can be a problem. Like maintenance for sure.
Yep.
I mean, we're lucky we get good performing cars, so it's a lot of oil changes.
Yep.
But sometimes, like just recently, we ran into a transmission.
And that's
to
like
get swapped.
$3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we're figuring out whether it just needs a flush or like a full tranny, but I don't know. We're lucky we haven't ran into anything too big, but we're hoping that we sell before they hit the fan.
I asked when we were talking. I don't think I ever mentioned the dealership. Because we haven't been doing it since September.
Yeah.
Because we realized October was gonna be big, but some cars have 1 TRP left. So if we're gonna use it, I'd rather have it start the weekend of the Super Bowl and then push off into March.
That's smart.
That's just an incredible 30-day period for Phoenix.
Yeah.
But that's like the biggest learning curve for us. Like the Teslas are relatively easy. Like new cars, you mostly get nice people, like well-off families or just on vacations. When we have like the cheaper cars, I don't know if you guys get some crazy stories then.
Well, we just got one of our stories, probably our biggest one is one went to Mexico. Lady tried to smuggle people across the border, got caught,
We had that.
like pretty much ran from the cops. I mean,
Yep.
the whole ordeal. Mexico wouldn't give us our car back. It took us a month to get in contact with them. With Turo, we finally figured it out. We got in contact with the right people. Total loss. We got paid out. I mean, we got paid out pretty. We got paid out $12,000. We paid $8,600 for the car. Maintenance was little to none, and then they're going to pay us per day it was gone. So we got out pretty good. But
Yeah. Is it still going right now?
no, it's in Mexico still.
So
We gave them the title. Turo's gonna. It's their
Yeah.
It's their problem now.
we had 2. Well, we may talk about this like more specifically offline. So we have bouncy trackers, obviously. We have these 2 Jeeps, and the lady owns, I want to say she owns both of them. Yeah, so the lady has both these Jeeps. Actually, we had one Jeep get caught. And this guy works, like he's in like Cleveland. So like that was our first experience. And he said he'd handle it. I mean, we didn't know, like it was his car. So he said he'd figure out, we couldn't even do anything. Because you have to have a power of attorney when they send you that packet, you know, to get the car from Border Patrol.
Yeah.
So that one we didn't know what to deal with. Then we noticed that a couple of our Jeeps in one weekend were all going to the same exact warehouse in Phoenix. Oh. Like I just happened to notice offhand. I was like, what are the odds 3 of our cars are all going to the same spot? Yeah. Sure enough, one car got busted, got pulled over, whatever, had a Border Patrol incident, and it was that Jeep that for I don't want to say his name. Yeah. And then the other lady, I messaged the other 2 people, and I said, hey, we have a good idea what you guys are doing. Like, just give us the car back. One of the cars, they left on the interstate right out here, and it was like a flat tire or whatever, definitely slashed. They just parked on the side of the interstate and left it there. The Turo helped us out. They paid for the tire. They paid reimbursement for the tow. The guy smoked and it was like $250. The car was trash for like extra $150. But the biggest queue we had was like we had last minute bookings, and these cars would come back spotless, like middle of the week. Like if your car would have came back detailed, like there's a whole process for these people. Yeah. Like I could go back and show you all this stuff, but like when I realized like we put like a bigger buffer on it, we made it so people couldn't pick up cars. We used to have like late night pickups open. We go 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. now because these people are picking the cars up like midday, but they're dropping off at like midnight. They don't want to see you. They just want to drop the car off. It's spotless. And it's not usually the person who picked up the car dropping the car off. We ran into that. We've had a couple of those when we do contactless pickups and stuff, and now we're on. I mean, we have to meet the person. We have to check their ID, make sure it's the right person. Yep. But that's scary. I mean, if somebody... Yeah. And it's definitely like, I hate to say it, but it's definitely organized. Like 1,000%. Like we could show you the bouncy trackers, and these guys, this lady, and sometimes they try to extend it. So we had this lady, and we realized what happened, and this lady tried to extend it like on our 3rd time. And I was like, Nick, let's just check this out. Let's just let it go and check the bouncy. Sure enough, same exact warehouse from that incident like a month ago. Same warehouse. I can show you the location if you ever want to know. Oh my gosh. So we told her like, hey, we actually can't extend the car. And she's like, well, I can't get the car back to you right now. I don't have the car. I was like, why don't you have the car? So I think they're having people book it, drive the cars there, and then they have the car. And those people have no idea what's going on. I was like, hey, we have a trip tomorrow. We didn't. So and we made the price like $300 per day. So if you want to extend, you can. But we'll have to cancel the trip. I think it costs you like $300. Like we just made up a story just to get the car back. And they give it back, spotless. Really? That's how you know. If it's like, I mean, it's detailed. Like the sheets, like the seats are shiny stuff. We could go to pre and post photos of these trips. I know exactly what their names are. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's insane. But since we changed the buffer to be, I think it's 6 hours now, and 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's 6 hours? Yeah, and no off-hour drop-offs. Like you can slide that toggle where it says if it's Turo Go, do you want to have any time flexibility? Yeah. No, it hasn't impacted business at all, and we've avoided like the chaos of locals. That's smart. We're gonna have to take some of that. Yeah, because it all happened like in a very short period of time. It was like August of this year when I think when they find an account, it wasn't even our main account. When they find an account that like they don't think anyone's like being too protective about, they just start booking those cars. Like they all go after the same person. Maybe they tested once, and then they just kept on going. And then once we messaged that person on that like big final incident, because that lady who did it later was on a different account, and I just like, what are the odds they're doing it? And then same warehouse. So I could show you where it's at. And it's like a motel. We drove by it, and my buddy that was with me was like ducking. He's like, dude, they see us. And they drove away. Cause I wanted to see. I was like, what is going on here? Yeah. Like, what did it be? Have you gone to the warehouse while the customer's there? Have you like confronted them? God, no. Dude, you die. No, it's sketchy. It's on a bad side of town. Is it? Oh yeah. It's like a abandoned motel. Maybe it's active. It's like right next. Where is it? Yeah, it's by like GCU. Really? We have gotten reservations where people are like, give us the wrong IDs. I mean, that last one, that lady, it was the wrong ID, she extended it. It's the extension people, because they don't have the car and they don't know they're trying to extend, and they always do like one day. Like every single day they're just re-extending. We have a lady that's extended it like 25 times for one day. For 45 minutes though. But she's not the one who has the car. That was the issue. Like that's what we're figuring out, because it's always young people that like must be in like some sort of like it's an extra $1,000 maybe. It's like, just grab this car for us. And they it's like there's no correlation on type of people. It's not like sketchy people. Like sometimes it is, but like the average person that did this for us is just like some young guy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a girl. We've had girls too. That's what made me realize that they weren't the ones doing the jobs, because it was just like an older lady. There's no way she was driving to Mexico.
That's
And she said, she openly actually told us she didn't have the car, so she can't give it back right now. I was like, okay.
That's sketchy.
They're dropping it off. They're just giving it to the people.
So do you think the best way to vet is like to meet in person and make sure it's right person picking it up? Or do the people that book it get it?
Yeah, so we do mostly remote pickups now.
Okay.
But we don't tell them it's remote really until they get there.
Oh.
So we have this whole process. It's like, we're going to be there. We have this, parking garage we operate out of. And then if we have a guy over there, they'll check them in. But if we have the person working is going back and forth or doing cleaning, it's already preset for pre-checking, because in our first message is, hey, we're excited for your trip. Please upload a selfie within 24 hours of your ID and a photo of your ID right now.
Nice.
So that usually deters people. Like, we're asking for that to do that, and it looks like it's going to be in person.
Yeah, we're going to have to take that. That's a good idea.
So that perception will get people to cancel.
And they'll just cancel it?
Yeah, they'll just cancel it. You'll get people to book right away and cancel.
Wow.
If you ask for selfie of your ID right away.
And how many, what percent do you
It's small,
think?
super
small.
But those ones stand out to you.
Yeah.
It's like, they'll say something, I think we just had one a couple days ago. They'll say something like, accidentally booked, oops. And it's like, if you've ever booked a car in Turo, there's 5 steps of yes.
Yeah, it's not like you accidentally click it when you're not paying attention.
Let's see if I can find it really fast. Yeah, that's the biggest red flag. It's that's when you know it kind of worked to make it appear like this is all in person.
Yeah.
Because they want remote.
Yeah.
They're definitely filtering by Turo Go.
Oh, that's so crazy. So out of all your cars you have, what would you say is your best performing car?
In terms of gross revenue or percentage?
I guess there's two sides to that. There's the ROI, so how much a car costs versus how much it's bringing in.
Yep.
And then there's just what's making the most amount of money. I mean, maybe both. What do you think, or overall?
ROI percentage is definitely a base Model 3. Because
Okay.
they cost you $600 a month, and they can make they're pretty steady at $17.95. The cars we've had the longest have that number. The newer ones don't quite hit that mark.
Yeah.
They also haven't had March.
Yeah.
If we have cars right now that haven't experienced in March, then their numbers are always super decreased, because they don't have the average of a crazy March.
Yeah, those help with the average.
We have an i8. They seem expensive. If you get one that's 2017, I think the battery, they had an issue with it transitions from battery to gas.
Yeah.
And we did a little bit of research. My buddy plays professional basketball. He's like, I want to get something cool, like a Corvette. And I was like, Corvettes at that time were expensive, because they were these new C8s that everyone wanted. So we went around and we found out that 2017 i8s were the best bang for the buck. And we got one, and it does pretty well. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it made $3,000 last month, and the payment is I think he pays $1,000 a month.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Obviously, there's just some sort of revenue share model in there, but in the car, if we owned it outright, would have cleared $2,000, I guess, plus insurance and storage. But
what does it cost, for 2017, to buy?
I think he paid $72.
72.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not. I mean, that's the same as a Model Y. But a Model Y is not making $4,000, whatever it was, or $3,000 in October.
Yeah.
Model Ys were making $2,000.
Yeah.
I can look there.
So interesting. You guys are playing. It reminds me of real estate. How you buy a bunch of real estate, you have the mortgage, and then you want to make a percentage on top of that, cash flow. Obviously, that's just the normal model. But for us, it's just, I don't know how many people are doing what we're doing. It's just maybe different, but it's find cars that, let's say our average is $10,000 a car.
Yep.
And then it's making $1,000, maybe $1,200 a month, because our idea is we want the cars to, they're cash, we're not paying them off, but we want them to pay off in about 10 months, and then it's just free, and then it's making money, and then after that we sell it, but it doesn't matter what it sells for. It could depreciate 50%, and we're still making money on it. So our goal is to double our money within a year.
So you're making $1,000 on a cash car in a month?
I'd say that's the average, but last month our average for all the cars was $1,400.
Yeah, because October, and you're pricing, but you're paying $8,000 up front. You're paying for it in cash right away, right?
Yeah. That's the only maybe negative.
In the summer months, what are you hitting?
Summer months it was probably $800 to $900 a month per car.
Not bad.
Yeah, which still wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It's definitely a lot slower.
I guess, just on the side note, I don't know what this guy's payment is in this Model S, but this car we've had it for 2 months, and it's making $3,500 a month.
Holy crap.
It's a brand new Model S, but they're like, what, 99 or 104? He got the base of everything.
Yeah.
So it's probably like a $1,600 a month payment if I had to guess. So it's hitting that mark of what he needs.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is different. If you guys, what's your profit then?
I mean, our expenses are super little. We pay my brother a little bit because he manages everything.
Yep.
We have insurance, which is $100 a car per month. I mean, I'd say our cost for everything, maintenance, everything is probably 20 to 30%. So we're profiting about 70%. So if we have a $10,000 a month, make about $7,000.
Okay. Yeah, we put very little down the cars. So that's you guys, even though you're buying used cars, have a higher upfront cost than we do. Like we put about as little as possible, and we pull those from credit cards, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about that yet, but when we say if you were to buy a car with us, we always feel like most people who start out when they have one car, it doesn't move the needle. Like realistically, like if you make an extra $400, $500 a month, you're not like amped. You're just like, whatever, you know. It's like some people it's a lot of money, but most people it's not going to change their daily, like how they feel.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 cars, you might get to like 1,000 or like 1,500 extra a month in cash flow, and that really moves. Like especially in like March when the cars all make like 2,000 to 3,000.
Yeah.
Like if your payment is $600 and we get 25%, you might be clearing like over $1,200 per car, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like most people, if they work a regular job, they might not clear $3,600 from their day job.
Yeah.
So if they get $3,600 from the side a month, they're like, this is pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
So if you were to get set up, we have our intro call with you, talk to you like, we always say like this is an investment, like it's a risk. Like if you do anything like this, assume you're gonna make $0. Like I always say that like specific line to like be very clear. It's like, it's worked in 2020 and 2021, but I have no idea what's going to go on in Russia or whatever. Like the world could change completely. Like COVID happened. You know? There's stuff like that in the past felt like unpredictable. It would never happen. That now it feels like there's more of a higher possibility. So I say, well, if you're doing this, bank on zero, and you're gonna have to like probably sell the car at some point. But in the best case scenario, or like the average case, if we run our numbers, it looks like $400 per month per car profit.
Yeah.
So we go to you. We say that looks good. We can have another meeting, and I can send you our contract. You can look over it.
Yeah.
Wait a couple days. Go over the contract, we set up an LLC for you, get your EIN, get you a business checking account, go get the business credit card, and then we cash out your business credit card and use that as down payment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, or use it as your monthly payment itself. So
Yeah.
we have like a billing system, and we either send you a bill for the whole card if you want to use it, or you can say your payment's $600 a month, we'll bill you $600 plus your insurance, because we'll put your car in our commercial policy. And then we'll add that, so your bill might be $700 off your credit card. If you have an $8,000 credit card, it lasts you almost a year.
Yeah.
You have no expenses, so you traded the leverage at 0% interest on a credit card to have cash in your account. You just paid off at the end of the year.
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like there's three main types of people running Turo. There's people that are doing cash flow, which is what you're doing.
Yep.
There's people that are doing high ROI, all cash in, which is what we're doing. And then there's people that are doing like cars that they want to buy cash or they finance. So I've heard of this guy, and he's put 120 grand into cars, which is what we've put in, but he has 5 cars. He's making about 4 to 5 grand a month, which is crazy to me because I'm thinking we have that. I mean, we've put 120 grand into our Turo, and we're making. I mean, this month is 15 grand.
Yep.
So just to see, and that's two sides of it. It's like whether you're doing it like for cars that you really like or really want, which is not a business. That's just a hobby.
Yep. Or
cars that perform well, which is the business side of it.
Yeah, and I think Turo actually favors, and I don't know if they're gonna ever change this. Like right now, there's like very little filtering. You go on Turo, you see the top car, it ranks from like value of the car per mile given to them and per day compared to the price, like the suggested value. So the first thing you'll see is like the Ferraris and G-Wagons and stuff like that, and some Model S's and X's, because they're the highest valued car. So if they lower their price, they can sit at the top of the search bar. Yeah. In the future, I'm assuming they're gonna have you filter by entities, like we're a company, and them, it's like we offer the best average process, most likely compared to the person who has an extra car laying around. Because if you rent from a guy who has just his sidecar sitting there, he probably just like had it sitting there and just gave you the keys, barely cleaned it out, grabbing the coins as you get there, you know.
Yeah.
For us, the cars get like washed, like go through a car wash, get vacuumed out, get sprayed down, get wiped down, you know, like they look pretty, like you saw the cars in that
Yeah, they
before.
look
Like
good.
any car on that level should be pretty clean, and they're just ready to go.
That's, I've never thought about that. They need to have a difference between like a personal account and a business account
Yep.
because they are. I mean, a personal account, I would think you don't know what you're going to get.
Yep.
Like, maybe you're going to get a clean car, maybe they didn't wash it. But a business is like, there's a certain level of like what you'd expect.
Yeah.
They should
And
do
it
that.
gives Turo a better like name, realistically. Like the bad experiences you have, if you like look at people who have like horrible experiences on Turo, 95% of the time, I guarantee it's somebody who has like 1 or 2 cars and they have no idea what they're doing, and they're just like, I haven't done an oil change in 20,000 miles. You know, why'd the car break down?
Yeah.
And for us, we're like using Bouncy to track the miles, and we get alerts, so we try to like maintain the cars as best as possible.
Yeah.
So it's like our job.
Yeah,
We have to.
Yeah, it's a job versus something you're doing on the
Side
side.
hustle,
Yeah, side hustle. Yeah.
And maybe they will turn into a bigger process, but at first, like I'm sure when I first went into my cars, it was easy because it was Teslas.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are like, they're showing up at this guy's like townhouse, picking up cars. I'm sure that might be the average Turo process, but I'm sure people like the more defined, and like even though they're trying to get away from like the hurts of the world potentially, I think it would be like, this is just a different marketplace. So there's no other marketplace better than like maybe like a Priceline where you can just go in and like book cars from a bunch of different entities without having to like have any favoritism necessarily. Just like it's favored based on experience, which is why you have all those reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to jump into, and this is kind of where we initially met and talked about, but you have a big deal that you're in the works with. So just tell me more about it.
So there's 2 things we have. There's these people who create these software company that's doing like our Tesla software. They're actually flying in on Thursday from like San Francisco. These guys are super cool. They help us design our software for our Teslas, so that they own the company. He's a really cool guy. He's super humble actually. I've known him for like probably a year and a half now. Maybe like 2 months ago, I learned that his first company got bought out by Apple. Yeah, super like something like nonchalant that I would probably egotistically say like any given time. And I just happened to find out when I looked him up online, like trying to figure out like his LinkedIn or something. I was like, wait, why is his name popping up with all these extra stuff? And I asked him, I was like, oh yeah, that happened a while ago. I was like, nice.
That's cool.
So he introduced me to someone, I don't know how, he said he's known him for a long time. And he's running like, he sold 2 previously companies for like $300 million. And he started like this fund where it helps like fleet electric vehicles for like multiple different purposes, whether it's for like you have a company that needs 100 cars for whatever purpose. They have a use case for like short-term rentals and like different types of renting processes. And right now we're getting our first green sleeves of 5 cars at a time. And hopefully the goal is to have 800 by the end of 2023. So that changes like that, whatever 10x's our ball game.
Yeah.
And it requires us to have like multiple locations.
Yeah.
So the reason why we don't get all the cars at once is because like we're gonna have to lean into the scale.
Yeah.
Like it's like 5 cars at once, like how do we process like all these cars still hitting numbers? And then do we get to 10 cars? Like most of that scale will happen in the back half of 2023.
Yeah.
Is my guess. And that's how I think they're a senior debt facility. So it's debt financing at some levels with like what they're doing. So that's gonna change with interest rates, I'm sure too. But that will be interesting to figure out, because that will allow us, we have like 24 different partners that we have cars with. It'll be interesting to see how it works when there's one primary. We thought about going away from the like investment partners, but I think we're just going to separate the companies entirely and just have these guys fund like the electric vehicle dream per se, you know, and they're just banking at the value of the cars don't decrease the same as like regular like gas car.
Yeah.
Because we lease it technically. We pay a cap rate, so we pay 2.12% per month of dollar borrowed. So if we get like a Model 3, it's like $1,000 a month. But if you go buy one, it's like right now with interest rates, probably like $850, $900, whatever, maybe $700.
Yeah.
Depends on which one you get, levels and all that stuff. So we're paying more per car, but we have like infinitely more leverage than we had. Like if you go to Desert Financial, who we were using, on like my 4th Tesla, they're like, what are you doing? You're 25 years old. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're not gonna be able to do that. And that's why we found the other investors. But now it's like, we might pay more, but we actually make more because we're not splitting the revenue with the investors anymore. We just have a flat rate for the cars. So like in the past, if we were paying someone out and their car was making $2,000 and they were getting 75%, we were paying $1,500 to have a car on a lot.
Yeah.
Now we can pay for that exact car. We can pay them $1,000 and we're just paying the car payment.
That's smart. I mean, just the amount of leverage that you're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, 800 cars.
I can't even imagine it. I mean, I could. I think it's a lot more, I think it's easier than people expect. I think like when you get to that like 30, 40, 50 cars, you start getting motion every single day and you can see how the process goes now.
Yeah.
We haven't filled up 8 to 10 hour blocks yet. Only time maybe like Fridays, on like busy weekends.
Yeah.
They will all pick up on Fridays and you'll see like 20 or 30 cars go out at once. And that actually like, I think our record's like 22 in one day for just going out.
22.
Yeah, and we're like, that's a lot of cars moving, but
Yeah.
it still doesn't fill up a full day.
Yeah.
So you're thinking it's like you could probably house like a 40 car per day movement with our current employment if it was like standardized throughout the whole week. So that's kind of interesting. The hardest part is cleaning.
Yeah.
So like it's easy to find cleaners. It's not as easy to find someone diligent enough to like do the check out process, which is why Hertz or Enterprise, they do like all those college graduates.
Yeah.
Because at some level you need to like to be organized enough to document the cars back and forth. So, but San Diego, LA, Vegas, I think that's like, we want to have like locally, geographically pretty tight area.
Okay. So those are the areas you're gonna focus on?
Yeah, San Diego first. Okay. They have an inverted busy season from us. They're super busy in the summertime, so it allows us to balance off more. California in general just has a good Turo market.
Are you gonna keep the cars there, or are you gonna like move them?
We were just talking about that. Initially, we thought about having some sort of transfer method of cars, but I think once we get to 200 here or like 150, we'll start fleeting them directly, and the cars will stay there. Because it's the cost to move them back and forth.
It's a lot.
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
It's not cheap to move cars like that. So we'll probably keep them there. And because of how the structure is with this master lease agreement through this company, is even though we're leasing them, it's a no miles cap lease.
That's nice.
So
you need
gives us, and Turo gives you a huge advantage because one of the things that filters you to the top, if you went to the top, it's free delivery to the airport and limited miles. All those top cars are going to have that. So we can offer unlimited miles on a brand new car.
You can do unlimited miles on all 800 cars?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because we have the EPMI as long as, we've talked about it with them, as long as their numbers are paying out that they make money on the sale in the back end, they're fine.
Maintenance. Who's taking care of maintenance on that deal?
Us.
You are?
Yeah. Which it's all electric vehicles. Very little. We do like, our targets are like tire rotations every like 15, 20,000 miles. If we get a big tire hit, that's usually when we take in for a tire rotation, like the rim scuffs, because that usually correlates with like hitting a curb and needs to get balanced. And if you don't balance it, the one tire will like rub weird.
Yeah.
So that definitely needs to be more organized, and that's where, his name's David, who runs that fleet software. That will be a huge partner with that because it will allow us to track, because Teslas give you an alert. I don't know if you know that, with uneven tread.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when the car starts treading unevenly, it will tell you which car. We might not see it because we're not in the cars all the time, and it's a very, very small alert.
Yeah.
But on the fleet software, they have a system now you can track those alerts. So we can tell if a car needs to have a tire rotation or like get balanced out really fast.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. They don't have Chevy Bolt set up yet, which is our first like electric vehicles reading for these guys.
Yeah.
But they will soon, probably, to help us out with that.
So when you guys have 800 cars, I mean, you guys have been doing at maybe over $1 million a month? Yeah,
so our goal is, again, we're going back to the $400 per month profit. Even that's what we told the people when we split the cars. It's cheaper to acquire those cars, obviously.
Yeah.
So our goal, again, internally is $400 per month per car. So most people, like your goal is like, how much can I make? What's the most I can make per car?
Yeah.
That's what you're like trying to price the weekends perfectly and stuff. We just need $1,000 from the Chevy Bolts. That's all we need. It's like $600 over is the payment for some. If we make $1,000, well, we can get that at like $35, $40 a day. We can just price it limited miles for 2023s.
And just keep the one price for weekends and regular days.
And just have it so it gets booked out continuously.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because we're not worried anymore about how much can we make per car. Like we need scale. Like we need, hey, we know that this car will make $400 per month. That's what we need.
Crazy.
So like our monthly pricing gives us so if someone books it for a month, I just did our first one last night to test it out.
Yeah.
If they book it for a month, it's like 40% off, which is a lot higher than you normally offer, but I want monthly bookings. I think we make $250 if that happens per car, but I'd rather the car just go out for a month.
And not have to
and not even have to worry about them and make less per car, but then it's less for hours of working, less for storage, all that stuff.
Would you ever get worried about, with unlimited miles, obviously you guys don't have to worry about that, but like somebody doing ride share?
We want them to.
You want them to?
Yeah. I mean, not on Turo, but we want those customers to come back and do private bookings.
Yeah.
And we'll make more. Take away the Turo fees. If they're paying whatever, $1,200 for the car, or if we're making that, or $1,000, they're paying $1,500, and then now we're making twice the amount per car. And as long as the average car, like all of our cars could go into rideshare, I guess, like that could be the point of it. But we want these people, we want to find the rideshare guys and just take them in privately. Because there's rideshare guys in Turo. You see them all the time. But like, I'm perfectly fine with giving them a discount and bringing them over to private rentals. And Turo will ban them if they see it's rideshare.
Really?
Yeah, it's against TOS.
So, are you gonna start? Have you ever thought about starting your own like car rental company, or you want to keep it all under Turo? Like, what's your goal? I mean, 800 cars that's huge.
It's a great question. So, there's two ways to do it, and you can kind of see it happen in Airbnb. There's obviously historical hotels, but there's Airbnb is huge now, you know. And I view the people who monetize that internally as like software enablers. Like it's like a software enablement company. Like they use a different software they didn't build, and they use their assets to monetize. So assuming Turo becomes the size of a marketplace like that, you can have a $10 million a year, $20 million a year company inside someone else's. Like, you don't have the cost of building the software. And you can control marketplaces potentially. So like, that's not necessarily what we're going for. But when there's ability to be the biggest player in Turo, that's as big as a regional rental car company in San Francisco, or not, like maybe like Knoxville, Tennessee, whatever, you know. You can make a decent amount of money doing that. And there's no reason for us to go try to scale our own booking software. Like, we tried it with HQ. It's just a lot more difficult. And the moving parts with insurance coverages gets a little bit nerve-wracking. So our short-term trips, like we talked about, we'll keep them all. Like, even if someone calls our Google line, which we get like, I don't know, like 60 calls a month. Most of the people.
60 calls? That's great.
Well, it's like we get like 10,000 people a month on our Google My Business page. So most people, I can show you that in here in a second. Most people who call though are like Fridays, no cars are left. Like, most of those calls are junk. Occasionally they get good ones on like a Tuesday and they want the car ahead of time. And they say they want it for 3 days. We don't even care to make the extra $15 per day on the car. We'll just send them to Turo because it's easier for us. But if they call on and say they want it for a month, we'll go private booking right away. Okay,
interesting. So, and it's nice because with commercial insurance, it gives you the ability to do that.
And you guys use GMI, right? We use Lula. And when we first got it, we were on the assumption so I don't know if I give you an update on this. It happened like when I was in Maui last week. We thought we had coverage during Turo rentals. We don't. The sales guy misinformed us. It's fine. It was only a glass claim. And we thought we were going to get it. They actually still paid us out, or they're going to. They haven't paid us yet. They're going to pay us out for the cost of glass, because the guy literally told me in emails. Like, I asked him. I was like, "This works for
So you have like proof of it?
And so they're going to give us the money for it. But it goes back to now it's just a placeholder insurance for private rentals. Because I told you, I'm pretty sure we talked on the phone, that it was good for Turo.
Yeah, for both sides.
It's not. So I'm sure someone will come out. I mean, it'd be very smart to offer a coverage that enables in car sharing like that. Because the claim rate's incredibly small. But it allows, they just become the collectors of money. Because if you claim it and you have the person who's driving it, the Turo insurance company is just going to go after that driver. That insurance company is a lot more effective at doing that than we are. So have us just pay a subscription fee or an insurance deductible, and we just file the small claims and they go collect the money.
I mean, that totally makes sense. I don't know why they're not. I mean, I'm pretty sure ours is the same. It doesn't cover the renters. Just because Turo kind of covers it to an extent. But
it's just such shitty coverage, unless you have like a total loss. And then it's good.
That's what you love. That's what you love about it. Storage. I mean, you got lucky because you have a place to park here. You have almost 2 floors kind of parking. But for us, like, we have a house that has 4 spots, and then we just kind of park around. What would you say is the best solution? Obviously, this is a good solution for you. But.
So we have another option looking into. Obviously, we're gonna I don't think they're gonna allow us to be here with 200 cars. I think it becomes like some sort of liability. Like, there's a lot. That's a lot of moving parts. And
one, because they could be making. I mean, if they're charging $100 per car, you have 200 cars. I mean, that's $20,000 a month.
Yeah, we're not paying.
They could be making.
Yeah, you can. So I would say, it's kind of a grind when you're in that middle tier area, which is probably why it's best to find other people. Like in Phoenix, there's that pre-flight parking.
Yeah,
I think
isn't it $150 per car per month?
It's 100. Is it 150 now?
I thought
Yeah,
when we talked.
So they ran out of space. Michael's the guy who runs that. I'm not sure what their deals are, but I know like one guy operates out there. He has like 60 or 70 cars. One of his guys helps us do our photos, and he was saying that they are like upping their rates. 150 cars a lot.
Well, especially when I mean, even for us, we're running on higher margins just because we have cash. But for like you, if you're making $400 a car per month, there's no room for that. You can't almost afford to pay. We would have to change.
We probably could make more on those investment cars if we changed our idea of like, hey, we only need to make $400. We would just up our prices. Like I booked that Chevy Bolt last night. I put it on there.
Yeah.
It's already got 2 bookings because I priced it $35 per day.
Yeah.
I just don't need it. Like I could maybe show you the first one. One of them goes through Christmas, but we would just change our philosophy if we had to. But you're better off going to some like, what do they call those? Where you like shared off. It's not like a WeWork, but you like get like an executive parking garage.
Yeah.
One of the ladies was working with us before she got our cars. You just pay for one parking spot, which might be like $100 a month. And you just have a scan. You have to swipe your cars in.
Yeah.
And you just get a little office space there.
Yeah, but that's tough when you have like, even for you, like 70 cars.
Yeah, that's
cars
I'm saying at the beginning. That's how you have to
Yeah.
start. If you like get in trouble driving your cars personally, a commercial space, like if we wanted to rent one, it's like $6,000 a month, which is like that would be if they said that we had to start paying $100 per car, and
you might as well just get
we
a
would
full
just go
space.
find some commercial lease place. The issue is getting close to the airports. Like most places near the airports are in like Sketchville, and you don't want like Model X's and Model S's all sitting in a parking lot where people can just break in.
And I know you like the idea of coverage, like having it covered.
Yeah, American Motors guy, you know that guy in Phoenix?
Of course.
He's all indoor.
Is it a warehouse?
Yeah.
But he has like really, really nice cars.
Really nice cars, like Lambos and stuff. But
if I had stuff
it would have to be a mix like that, I think, because you have cars you need to keep inside. Like we have an SQ7, and that's a $110,000 car. You don't want that sitting in the sun in the Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh, in the summer it's just gonna bake.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your paint job on it.
So I don't know. I'd say when you're starting out, like when we first got started, the very beginning, I was like in this. I was in like a townhouse in like an apartment complex, so I had like townhouses and apartments. There was an A-loft down the street from us that had a Tesla charger, and it actually had like their back end parking lot was empty. I just started parking my cars there, and that's where I had people meet us for airport pickups and drop-offs. And when the cars were ready, I'd take them to the Tesla charger they had there. There was 4 plugins, and I'd just plug them in.
Wow.
It's actually still not across the street from here.
Yeah.
So I would really just leave there's like a back area that empty little like office building is. It's gotta do something like that, because most of the time at like a hotel near the airport, there's so much moving cars.
Yeah.
They're gonna have none of those employees care enough to find out if that car's been there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to it. So that's probably the first thing. But when you start finding space, it's probably a lot easier to team up people, because that's basically what we're doing. When we get all these other people to buy us cars, we arbitrarily have multiple people who are helping us pay for an office space.
Yeah.
So.
And we're looking into right now the solution we're looking for, because we don't want to run to a problem where we're renting this building like office space here, and then they want to charge $100 per car, because it's just too much. It's 10% of our gross, and it's a lot of your profits. So our solution right now is find an office space that we can have unlimited parking for free, or we just found one where we have like a spot, and then we can lease out a full parking spot, like a 26 car parking lot, like all on its own, but it's in the sun, and it's just like a little more per month. But
there is a mall near us, like relatively near us. It's probably like 15 minutes to the airport. I've talked to that core guy about it. Malls just aren't what they used to be. You know, they have huge parking garages now and like very little traffic. It's not Fashion Square, it's a different one. It's fairly close. We could do that one. It has space in there. He's talked to like the business development person. They want you to have like a certain level of insurance coverage to even be there. Which is like a really high level of insurance actually. So it's not it's still per car though. But you don't have to pay for every car you have. Because you really looked into it, like on any average given night throughout the whole month, say it's 30 nights, you might actually, even if you have 10 cars, you might only be averaging 3 spots a month.
Yeah.
Like total number, like taken spots in a month might be like 90.
Yeah. The only problem with that is like in a mall or in a big area like that, keeping them all together.
Well, this spot is empty.
Is it?
Yeah. It's pretty, because they have a parking lot and they have this parking garage next to like Macy's. That's like the first level might get used.
Yeah.
But the second, third, and the fourth is above. Like you have no cap, but you could use the third floor and arbitrarily only see you on Christmas. So
Yeah.
that's an option. And when we've talked about, this place ends up getting a lot more expensive. We do that. But like the long goal is to have like a full facility.
Yeah.
And we have to just give up the thought of not wanting our cars in the sun, because realistically when they're being driven around, they're in the sun anyways.
Yeah.
It's just
I've thought about this. I think someone needs to create parking facilities specifically for Turo.
well, that's pretty much what that pre-flight guy did.
Yeah, but if they're
But
already,
it's too expensive.
it's too expensive, and they're already, it sounds like
And it's
they're almost
not
filled.
even the primary use case. The primary use case is for airport parking. The guy just, I think it's like a side deal. I
Yeah.
don't know how much he's like. It's a franchise, I'm pretty sure, right?
Oh, is it?
Pre-flights
I
at
don't
other
know.
airports.
I've seen them around.
Yeah, so if you bought a used parking garage, you could sell, if you've got 1,000 spots, you could sell that. In Phoenix at least.
Oh, for sure.
Like even if it's $50 a spot, it's $50,000 a month. There's no parking garage that costs you $50,000 a month on a 20-year note.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
So you can make money. If they're charging $150, they're cashing.
Oh, I'm sure they're making a lot of
They're
money.
cashing.
They're making a lot of
That's
money.
a lot of money.
Yeah, I think initially you get creative, and then you find something like this where it's more stable.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, the long-term goal, most people who get into Turo, their goal isn't to make it like a car rental car company.
Yeah.
It's to cash flow and compound this investment into something else.
Yeah.
So like getting involved in buying real estate like that might be the best answer, because most people aren't going to make that next scale level. So like if you're making an extra $10,000 a month, go figure out a way to figure out financing where you do buy some sort of facility that helps benefit you and it pays for itself.
Yeah. Maybe we just do a GoFundMe and fund a garage.
Yeah, it'd be expensive.
Yeah.
I think it's feasible though. You can business plan. You have enough cash flow, because a lot of lenders do bank deposit lending.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that before?
Mm.
So you guys do a lot of cash cars. So you can go, when you first get started, you're going to go to a credit union, you're going to get approved for 5%, 4%, whatever, do
Yeah.
your first car. Later on, especially if you're managing people's cars, you want all the money going to one spot, like all the money you guys make, so that you can do like deposit-based lending. So if you have, say, like we have revenue share and we have flat fee customers. So some people pay us $400 per month, some people give us revenue share. And so some people, we have deposits coming from them, so we lock in our $400 per month and they get all the revenue back. Some people we split revenue, which I prefer, because then we make a lot more during March, obviously.
Yeah.
We have all those deposits in the same exact account. So like if it's like damn near $100,000 a month, all goes into one account and we can get lending based on that. It's pretty easy to approve for stuff. You can buy houses with it. You just have to have 20% down.
Yeah.
So, but like they'll do like, some places do like a flat 50% cut. So like your verified income is $50,000 a month. You can go buy any car you want at $50,000 a month income.
Interesting.
So
That's pretty good.
I mean, you could do that. I mean, you've had 10 cars and you own them all, right? See, that's the advantage of having loans in some level, because they don't care about your payments out when they look at that as much, which is weird. They just see total deposits and they see you have cash flow.
Yeah.
So for your example, if you guys put 120 in, you guys could have had 20 or 30 cars.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more cars, if it's like $5,000 down per car.
Yeah.
You've had like 20 some cars, but then you have payments, but it'll look like you're making revenues more and
Yeah.
profits less.
Yeah, I think our biggest worry is depreciation and, I don't know, like financing. I know that you can finance used cars, but normally that's typically used for like new cars or dealership, and dealership just charges so much money that there's no, it just doesn't make sense for us.
Are you guys, when you guys start, so I guess the bigger question is, how does Hertz buy? Like if you're trying to go to the next level, like why are they not buying used cars?
Yeah, probably reliability.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of different things. Our CPA, I could give you the tax code for it. You said you get 50% off on write-offs for everybody buying cars. Somehow he was writing off the 100% of the value of the car for if it was rental purposes. So I could figure out the tax code for it. 100%? Because I owed a bunch in taxes, and then it was like some lower person was looking over the taxes, and I called the guy in charge. He's actually my cousin. Yeah. Like second cousin. I was like, Matt, why do I owe so much? It's like, we can pay it, but this is gonna suck. And he's like, let me take a look at it. And he like went through it. If you buy it for rental purposes, and you can prove that, then you can get a huge tax write-off. And I could figure out what I'm not a tax person. Don't take that as advice. As far as I know, it's going to come bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing. Like there's a reason why Hertz isn't buying used cars. If that was the most profitable model, there would be a company out there that would push out used cars all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
Because you guys are going to be paying a lot in taxes. Right?
I don't know yet.
You know yet?
We don't know yet. Well,
our 2021, before we had this, was a scary tax bill.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I was not happy about it. And then he figured out, because it was just like some random accountant, intern person, or like entry-level associate going through our stuff. And then I was like, this is a big tax bill.
Yeah, there's a lot of back-end things you don't think about. And that's like, it's when you're starting a Turo business, especially if you want to go big, that's big. It's having your taxes down and having somebody that actually knows how to take care of them and makes so you don't pay a bunch in taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, our tax was nerve-wracking, but it worked out, I guess, so far. I would say, yeah, I think that's probably this, because you don't get any tax benefits by buying in cash.
I don't know.
I mean, realistically,
I don't know if we're gonna have to find out.
Because like you guys are buying a car, you buy it all for $8,000, you can write off $8,000. If we buy a $60,000 car, we can write off the $60,000 over 3 years. Oh. So all of our profits are being negated.
I want to almost do a segment or like a talking point, not here, not right now, but another one about the concept of expansion, your concept of expansion.
Yeah.
Because like ours truly are completely different.
Yep.
Mine is smaller scale, less leverage, and yours is like, how much leverage can we possibly get and how big can we grow? And like that idea of 10,000 cars, like that's
insane.
fucking insane.
Yeah, and it's not just like my own thought process. Obviously, this Jerry guy is like, you have to be the first. Like, say if the idea of robo-taxi is going to be a thing, just assume it is. Like, just like it's a binary. Is it yes or no? It's going to be there at some point. How can you get, like, once full self-driving is here, a lot of people are going to try to emulate, like, how can we emulate this technology to make profit, you know? But if you have the assets in place, the second it shows up, like say it happens in 2 years and we're only at 1,000 cars, it's whatever. We still have 1,000 cars. We can go make 6,000 a month driving Uber.
Yeah.
And we just implement right away. People are going to have to play catch up. And now if we're in that position, we can go raise 100 million and jump past everyone. Everyone else is going to be trying to raise money so they can get to 1,000 cars.
Yeah.
Like it's just having those assets ready to go, and then bam, technology.
So you're building your Turo fleet to jump into something else. You're looking to get ahead of everybody else, but get started with it now.
Somewhere else, yeah. And I talked about compounding and different investment.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we've talked about this before this, but that's like the final pitch.
Yeah.
And you can't raise money on like, I want to have a Turo fleet. But like you can use other companies' softwares to help build, like we would end up having to have our own software. Like obviously we'd have to partner with Standard Fleet or someone else, but that's the final goal. And it seems uncomprehendable right now, but as long as you like just focus on small goals, like, hey, get this 800 cars, get this next step. How do we have 4 locations going? The big jumps seem scarier, but I think they're easier as long as
once you get
foundation.
there. I think when you're on the edge of that jump, it's not going to be as difficult. It's going to be, this is what needs to happen because it's going to happen.
Yeah, like I can envision 200 cars at 4 locations pretty easily. Like, right, it's like right now it's like double our fleet here. Assume we have none of the side investors and say they were just all like Arizona Tesla rentals, and we do that 4 more times. Yeah, I could go back and forth and fly around and be there 24/7. That doesn't seem stressful. Yeah. But the idea of like completely giving it away, like it be its own thing, and go to 10,000 cars and be it nationwide. And in my hometown, small town Iowa, we have robo taxis picking people up. We've never even had taxis. Like that aspect seems mind blowing to me. So I think it's actually easier. Like that part is easier. It's just having people that are able, like have that same vision and are able to like build that software in that company and have that same ideology with us and like giving more trust out.
It's easy when you think about it step by step. It's scary when like me thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit, 10,000 cars. It's like a whole fleet like driving itself. Like that's freaking crazy. Yeah, and I think that's like what it comes down to. Like there's no reason for us to break down what it looks like to go to 800 to 1,600 cars right now. Yeah. Like right now we have a breakdown to get to 800 cars. Yeah. When we get to 800 cars, I'm pretty sure like that defined step is gonna be a lot more like granular. But like, there's no reason to even focus. Like, just know it's there. Yeah. Like, there's no reason for it to break it down. That needs to be Q3 of 2025. Yeah. Just like, let's get to 800. Let's get to 200 each location. Figure out what optimizations we need, and go from there. Because the weirdest part will be going from less human processes. Like the perfect goal of full self-driving is to have
no contact with the drivers, all automatic messages. No one doing the cleaning, maybe sparsely having to get vacuumed out, but on Turo Go, you only have to clean the car once a month.
Really?
Look at the details on it. Like, you only have to clean the car because it's technically supposed to be check in and check out peer to peer.
So they have to clean it.
They're supposed to keep the car maintained.
So what if they?
You technically only have to clean the car once a month.
And if they don't?
If we don't?
No, they don't. Like a customer drops off.
If it's super dirty, obviously you can get fined. You do the checkout photos, but you don't have to go. We keep our cars in pretty pristine condition right now. The average robo-taxi will not be that clean. And nor will people expect. You get a taxi in New York City, it's not that clean.
Yeah.
So there will be a different baseline of what your expectations are going to anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be an ongoing joke, robo-taxi's kind of dirty. Whatever, it doesn't matter. How else were you getting someone else to drive you when there's no one else there?
Yeah.
It gives you a lot more flexibility too.
Yeah, and it creates an around-the-clock constant flow.
Well, and it provides more value, we're enabling software, but it provides more value to Uber too. Because right now, Uber, they're huge in these hubs, and they have the limited ability to go outside those hubs because, first of all, these drivers don't want to do long trips. How often are you going to take a car from here to LA, even though it might be cheaper? You're never going to do it because no Uber driver wants to go back and forth. It may be the most efficient path to jump in a robotaxi and go to LA.
And then the robotaxi can just stay there, or
there.
car
They
back,
can just chill.
or it's just a network.
It doesn't need to come back. It's just a hive mentality.
That's crazy.
Yeah, as long as it knows the central nest is closest, it's good to go. So that changes their whole network of how they operate. Uber is not, their locations aren't based on metropolitans. It's just all connected.
Yeah, like I said, I want to do another segment just on that concept of that growth, that step. Because most people think like this. I mean, it's Turo, it's a Turo fleet, it's Turo.
Yep.
But you're thinking something I've never seen before. You're thinking about it as a whole different. I mean, you're thinking about a software company.
Software enablement.
Yeah. Just but totally completely different from the norm. All these Turo people, cars and stuff. But that's different. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's, there's some sort of baseline to create off of these guys in Europe, but obviously, if it's gonna be done in the United States, it's gonna be quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
So
that's freaking cool.
But so that, I don't know. But at first, you take 100 cars, you're right. We're gonna hold steady for a second and be how are we doing?
Yeah. You got to make sure all the pieces are functioning properly.
And then whatever goes next, it'll happen.
Yeah. Let's talk about, we're filming, right? That's just I know where to cut and stuff. Let's talk about getting started.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people, they're just not sure. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get started. What do you think is the absolute first step you need to do in order to get started?
So there's two different ways to take it. One, you get started, you put your own car on Turo. That's because you're working from home, you have an extra car, you're a stay-at-home parent, whatever it may be. That's the easiest, that's how I started. It's the easiest, quickest way. But I don't think it's the best way to start in terms of risk mitigating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think the best way to start is to go out and create an LLC, go get your business checking account, go get your business credit card, and don't necessarily have to leverage, but just have the company structure in place. Go organize your funds and say, hey, I'm going to put $10,000 into this business, and I'm not going to put any more money in there. And this is how we're going to start. You can either go put $5,000 into a lease on a car, or you can go buy a cash car. I think either of those options are best. If you're going to do a cash car, you have to know how to maintain a vehicle realistically.
Yeah.
You got to be or have an efficient way to go get the oil changes done.
Yeah.
If you're going to do leverage, it's easier to maintain the business because you're going to go get a new car that's not going to have any issues for the most part, and you're going to have a 60,000 mile warranty, or if you go with Kia, you're going to have a 100,000 mile warranty. Your risk of expense on the backside is significantly lower if you do that, and then it's you can just start with that one car.
Yeah.
The next jump, I truly think it has to be 4, because it's hard to. First of all, there's two aspects. It's hard to prove for a lot of loans, especially as an intro person. There's a lot of places that do business financing. They still see how many inquiries you have and how many cars you have on purpose. So if you buy your first car in the business name, when you go buy your second car, they're not necessarily going to know as a personal guarantee that you own. They aren't going to know you own that car because it's in the business name.
Yeah.
So if you go and mess up and go buy 3 cars in your personal name, and you've already screwed yourself over because it's going to be almost impossible to PG a car. So you just want to go put that car in the business name, which is usually the Ford, Tesla, BMW, Mercedes. Those are easy to get approved in the business name. Kias, Toyotas, not as simple. Those Asian companies make it a lot more difficult to get business financing, personally guaranteed.
Yeah.
So go get one of those cars and make the next jump to like 4 more. The reason why you want to do it quick is because you have like 30 days until all those inquiries are going to add up.
Before they look at the...
Yeah, it's totally like itemized, so they can't see which cars you've bought, but they can see that you've been shopping.
Yeah.
So you do one, nobody's going to care if you buy an extra car. The next jump, like you're going to be stuck at 5 for a while unless you get really creative, because they're going to be like, well, you had a lot of inquiries, and they're going to kind of figure out like, oh, you're personal guaranteeing, you know, why don't you own these other cars? Like, what's going on here? So you just got to kind of like, once you sold on it, you think it's easy. 1 to 5 cars is very similar work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's just, if you have the free time, the randomness of one car will like coincide with the other 4.
Yeah.
So that jump is very comfortable. You could be working full time at 5 cars and have no interruptions in your workday if you like make your structure correct.
Yeah.
The big jump is like next, but I think it's important to just make sure it's structured separately. So if you do want to expand it when you start, you're not stuck with 5 cars in your personal name. Like I still have 2 of my older Teslas. When I first got started, I was just buying personal name. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, I got a Model 3, I got another Model 3. It's like, this got approved. Let's do it. You know, I'm just sitting at home working for a crypto startup. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
That's funny. And I feel like when you're getting started, it's probably a good idea to buy a couple cars and run it for just a little bit. Because if you start, like if you're like, okay, I'm going to get...
Wait like 6 months.
Yeah, because if you get like, okay, I'm going to get 20 cars right away, and if you don't understand like the structure and how it works, you can easily screw yourself.
You're going to get eaten by the losses. Like
Yeah.
my biggest thing, what I learned early on, was how to handle the insurance losses. If you jump to that many cars right away, I mean, you're going to be upside. A couple big losses can make you upside down.
Yeah.
Like, total.
Yeah.
Like, you could be out of business.
Well, and not to mention like the reviews and like keeping the relationship with the customer happy.
Yeah.
Like you can easily
I
lose
don't
that.
like we don't use this necessarily. We did it actually when I first got started. You can avoid the review process kind of on Turo a little bit. So if you listen to your car and you're new and you like really messed up, for example, you don't know what you're doing, and forgot to show up, the guy couldn't get in the car, gives you 1 star.
Yeah.
Just delete the car, repost the car. And I don't say it as like advice long term, but like when you're first getting started, if you really mess up, you can kind of reset yourself. It's impossible to do it. It's impossible to do it later on, but at the beginning you can pretty much reset yourself. And your account might have bad reviews, but your account doesn't dictate where the cars rank. It's the car's individual rankings.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So like your account could have a 4.8. You might not be an all-star host, but your cars could still all have 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
So you can see people do it. Like if you go through like big hosts, you'll see that like how do all their cars have perfect 5-star reviews, but yet they have a 4.9, 3. You know?
See, I've never thought about that. I've never. We've kept all of our stuff. We've only gotten maybe 1 star, a couple 3, a couple 4. Well, it depends. Like if it was our fault, we did something wrong, which was the one. Like there's nothing we could do. We probably could call or delete it or do something, but it's not worth it. But then, like there are some people that will leave like a 1 star or like a 2 star, but it's not our fault. Like it's Turo not picking up their calls, or it's something just super random that had nothing to do with us. We'll call Turo. We'll get those taken care of.
Most of our bad reviews are from billing.
I hate that.
Well, it's because when Turo will take them down instantly, and it's usually pretty obvious. So you'll either have a dispute. It's with electric vehicle, you have your EV charging post-trip.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear. When you book a Tesla on Turo, it tells you like, hey, you have supercharging. When you plug the car and it tells you inside the car you were billed $14.
Yeah.
It all goes to our credit card. And then we bill them afterwards. And it's like we had like 3 during Thanksgiving. People just never been in Teslas. This lady goes like 400 miles over this, and she has like $200 in supercharging. She's like, I got charged for $1 per mile extra for no reason, and an invoice literally says, refilling the car, supercharging extra miles. And in our startup messages, when you book the car, it says you have 400 miles on this trip, or you have unlimited miles, kind of car it is, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just dumb. I told you, 99% of people will read it, and they'll understand what they're getting into when they book a car.
Yeah.
There's 1%, you could give them a show and tell pictures of what's going on, and it won't matter. At the end, they're still going to be confused of why they didn't drop the car off the right spot and got charged an extra $50.
Yeah.
I can't park the car at a Walmart and just leave it there.
And we've had a couple of those.
Yeah.
Those are not fun. When people just like will leave them somewhere. Like we've had the ones that get left places. Sometimes we'll just get like impounded. They'll get taken, and then we have to freaking go there. And I mean, it turns into a whole deal.
Our biggest thing. How many times have you retrieved a car yourself?
Twice.
It happens every once in a while. See, that's the thing. As a new host, you have to like. the flexibility will get you in the most trouble, in my opinion. You gotta follow like terms of service. They gotta be there. The check-in can't be 30 minutes beforehand, and they can't be more than 30 minutes late. If they're more than 30 minutes late, mark them late.
Oh,
They're
really?
unresponsive. After 2 hours, you can get a full day of the next day billing of the car.
No way.
Yeah, you report it. It says car report issue.
Yeah.
Car is or isn't returned. Say isn't returned. If your checkout photos when you check the car, or then the host or the renter checks it out, it's more than 2 hours. After the end time, you get the full next day is fully charged.
Wow.
So my comment on that: if the car is gone for in 24 hours, it goes into like the lost. You experience like the lost car issue, and they have to look into it, and they don't do anything. But if it's before that 24-hour mark, and you check the car out, you get the car back before then. You check it out, you get the full day, and you don't have to deal with all the stuff. So it's like 6 hours past. We're gonna go find the car.
Yeah.
We've had people like it's ranged from people who like one guy had like a 9 o'clock drop off before I had like the strict 8 to 8 rule.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, I'll bring it back at 4 a.m. and it's a Tesla. You can only go so far.
Yeah.
See it's charging. Drove to the nearest Tesla charger, supercharger. We know you're going there.
Yeah.
Waited for it. We got there. Sure enough, parked the car. He went into Target, put all the stuff on the ground, and drove off. He like made this huge ordeal. Has like booze all over the back. Like he was just like smoking in the car, just everything possible, you know.
How many smoking? Sorry to get you off track. How many smoking fees do you get? You get a ton of those.
So we used to be significantly more strict. Like, even if we noticed there was like a vape powder on the windshield, we used to like look into that more. Even weed can go away, like pretty like before we get the car back. Like you'd be like, I can't tell someone smoke. We will only charge them if it's like cigs automatic. It's impossible to hide cigs.
Yeah, that's
if
tough.
someone's like smoking a vape pen and you like have like the hint to them when they drop it off, we'll wait like 2 hours, and most of the time that smell's gone. That usually means they either had it on them, but if it's obvious, we'll charge them. We just had one every other week.
Every other week?
Yeah,
That's
not.
I mean,
it's not
for how many cars you have, that's
most
not
of them
very
are minor smoking claims, just enough where we charge them. But we could easily get one a week. I mean, every weekend you have a car come back and you're like, hey, this guy was a smoker, but most of the time it's like not that bad, and it's going to be gone by the next trip.
Yeah.
But every other week you'll have someone, ash is inside the cup holder, and then like when they get out.
I don't know how people can like do something like that. Like
those people just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even. It's just how they would treat you if you were there. They would do it if you were there.
Yeah, I'm
they
sure.
They just don't care. I don't know. It's mostly locals.
Yeah.
The summer claims for smoking were a lot higher. Travelers, well, there's two aspects. It's a lot harder to travel with like weed and drugs.
Yeah.
So like they'd have to buy it here. Most of the time they haven't gotten rid of it before they leave because you can't bring it with them. So like when we have airport pickups, who told you the process I have for these airports, we get like 90% of our trips, people are coming from the airport easily, if not more.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we're the highest ranked cars in the airport.
Yeah. Well, and the airport's right down the street.
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
like I told you, like how we do our process, it's all TOS, but like what makes it so we can have our airport pickups. And it's avoided a lot of issues because the travelers don't drive the cars far.
Yeah.
They go to hotels. We get less miles on them. We don't have people going all over the place.
Wow. That's
all
nice.
of our issues are locals.
That's everybody says that, and we've ran into that for sure.
We've canceled last minute bookings on a Friday, and it's a 602 number for Phoenix. Cancel.
Really?
Yeah. I don't even care if the car needs the booking because that's why Turo charged the high fees. That means the guy didn't just book it last minute. He also way overpaid, and he's a local, so there's nothing good that's going to come out. We don't do it that often, but you can see our cancellation reports on Turo on our main account. It's probably a couple $1,000s this year, maybe like 4 or 5, because it's just a gut feeling. Like if you have the gut feeling, you're right, 100%. I've had where I've driven to get those people last minute bookings, and that was before the 6 hour buffer. Now we have a 6 hour buffer, so like they would have to have booked before like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and picked up by 8, whatever. But in the past, we would cancel a lot. Jeez. It's just not worth.
Are you Superhost or PowerHost?
Yeah. It's only $5,000 of revenue a month for 3 straight months.
But then there's like the cancellation and the other.
Yeah. It's you can see our numbers. I think we're the only one we're on the edge on. It might be because you have to be above 95% host rate. I think we're like 97.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. So we canceled just enough. Well, it's like if someone asks, for example, and most of those will get taken back by Turo. If someone's like, hey, will anyone be there at the car when we pick it up? Cancel. I don't even like go through the process anymore to like try to get that cancellation taken off. I just don't care anymore. It's just like we have enough moved, that car will most likely get rebooked out. But if it's like any of those sketchy questions and you're a new host, just cancel.
Yeah.
Or just call them and tell them the car's not available and have them cancel. Because
That's starting out. That's the best way
if
to do
they're
it.
looking to do something bad, they're just gonna go try to find another car.
Yeah.
Like if they're like devious.
Yeah.
So
That's that makes me so mad that people do that. But I'd say new host, have them cancel it, or call Turo to have them cancel it. Because
Yeah.
like starting out, if you have like a one cancellation on your record, I mean, for you to get to All Star and then to Power, it's gonna
I
be
would
hard.
say so. The biggest thing when you have to deal with those cancellations is you can call Turo, obviously, and if they're being sketchy, like if you have reasonable doubt that they're doing something bad, that you can get that removed. So that's a lot easier than people realize. You just have to call in, and it's usually the issue though is I talk to a power host rep now,
Yeah.
and it's like usually the one of three people I talk to the same people all the time, so they know me and I get my stuff removed really fast. I never called when I was new. My assumption is you just call Turo, click number 3.
It's
I don't know if you guys know this or not. There's like multiple options. One of them is like an emergency line, and it's for like the people can't get in the cars. You'll get to the same people no matter what.
That's so funny.
Just
And we have the same process, the same number. No matter what the problem is, we press the same number because we get with. I mean, because we're Powerhouse too, we get with them like that. I mean, it's immediate.
But yeah, that's where you avoid messes because when you're canceling, there's 2 aspects. One, they have past reviews.
Yeah.
And they're traveling. You're not gonna have issues with them. If they're locals, they just made their account and they filled out theat bio. If they filled out their bio, it is the biggest red flag for me.
Really?
Because nobody fills it out. Like any person, look at your last 3 bookings. No one filled out their bio.
Yeah.
Last person I had an issue with, they're like looking to have a good time with the family, hang out.
They're probably being over.
They're doing too much.
They're doing too much.
Yeah,
They're
and it's like,
overcomplicating.
if you see that on a brand new account, it's like, okay, we're not booking that to you. And like, obviously that's not true all the time. Like you'll get an older lady who fills out her whole family story on that. That's fine. But these people's bios are like 2 sentences, just living the dream, like just catchphrases and stuff.
Yeah,
just to look like they put some emojis in there. Red flag. They're doing illegal stuff.
We don't dive into it that deep, but maybe that could solve some problems.
That's just last minute bookings.
Yeah.
Like if it's like we're like we don't have late. Dude, our issues were solved when we did 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
See, we just did that. We did a like I think it's 9 to 5 or something.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the time frame?
8 to 6 p.m.
Oh, 8 to 6.
8 to 6. No option of after hours pickup and drop offs. There's a little toggle there at the bottom that allows you to have Turo Go cars go out at different times.
Yeah.
We took that off. 99% of our issues. Because there's people who act like they spoke in your car, they didn't mean it malicious, and there's people like trafficking humans.
Yeah.
The crazy shit's gone now, and like that's a huge
nice.
change. So that's depending on your area, you want to avoid the crazy stuff.
Yeah. That's nice. The last question I have, which kind of going back to like our numbers and stuff. I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing this. How much have you made on Turo like throughout the whole?
So that's a good question. So we could see. So this account we use CarSync, but it only tracks the accounts connected to CarSync. So we could do life. So this year, and stuff on CarSync is primarily our main account. So we're making 25 to 35% of this money clearing. That's like our profit. So right now for this main account, we have 416,000 this year, and it's between like 100 and 175. I would say is like profit because some of that's flat fee. Yeah. But there's accounts that do a flat fee management, like like we had a big account. She had like 9 cars. That was flat fee. It's $400 a month. We have a dealership that we do that's not on this, and that's revenue share. But that's very, very up and down. Like right now, none of the cars are active because we only have so many TRPs. Yeah. So I think we broke it down when Nick moved here. I think our goal. We have 2 Airbnbs too. Oh, nice. Just people who rent cars from us or have cars with us. They just happen to have houses down here. Yeah. We're not nearly as good at managing Airbnbs, so if you go, send us Airbnbs. I think our numbers are like 200K for like profit that we can live off of, and that pays for obviously our house. Like Nick and I live in the same place. The business pays for it. Yeah. Or we don't have any car payments, obviously, because all of our cars are on Turo. So you guys, so this year, I mean, just on the Turo side, you guys are gonna hit almost $500,000 gross. Yeah. On the main account. Yeah, the main account. And then you have with people have their own accounts. Multiple other accounts. Yeah. So that's good. That's decent. It's something crazy, but it's a good baseline. Like when you get to, so when I left I was making like okay money at the crypto startup. The hardest part, like luckily I'm not like a affluent spender. Like I buy like very specific things. I don't buy nice clothes really. I went on my first vacation last week for like 2 years. I worked like 7 days a week. I just took time off to go to Maui and my girlfriend's family paid for it.
Yeah.
So pretty cheap vacation.
Yeah.
So I don't have those bad, I don't gamble, I don't really drink, I don't go out at all.
Yeah.
So like it's super easy for me when I first left the crypto startup to like literally live off of like $3,000, $4,000 a month profit, like clear. And that's what most people's goal, I feel like in Turo, is to make that jump of like, I don't want to have to go in and do this accounting job where I just punch numbers in this keyboard and want to just drive into oncoming traffic on my way home.
Yeah.
Like people who make great careers out of that, but a lot of those jobs, they feel stuck, you know, so they want to do something else. Like you just got to figure out like what's the number where you could also do Uber. Like I swear to God, when we first got started, I was at like 10 cars or 12 cars when I went full time on this, which isn't that many.
Yeah.
I just knew like what my number was, and I told myself, I was like, hey, if this doesn't work out, I have Teslas. It's cheap to drive Uber. I follow this guy on Twitter. He makes like whatever $1,000 a week driving these times a day. I'll just go out and drive Uber super early in the morning, and I'll just want impact business, you know.
Yeah.
And we just happened right when I went to full time on the cars. That's when we made a huge jump.
Wow.
Like, I think I went full time with 12 cars, like not very many. And
That's
Bailey, the guy who plays professional basketball, he was the 12th car, I believe, or maybe he was like the 7th car. I think he was right after Carrie Ann. And he was talking, he's like, you're going to go full time. I was like, I think I'm going to. And within like 60 days, we were at 30 cars. Like there was a huge jump there.
Holy crap,
because
big
I
jump.
was posting on the Facebook pages, hey, we're looking to manage cars. I made like this jump really quickly, like with people who already had Turo accounts that just were going back to work and they couldn't operate their cars anymore. And then it changed from the people who had Turo accounts to us getting these like partners, investors do revenue shares. And the people who had Turo accounts slowly started disappearing because they want to do it themselves, or like they were used to making more money because they were doing it themselves. Because if you give me 8 cars, we're charging $3,200 a month. Like for you guys, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to take out, but then you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But it allowed you to keep your full-time job.
Yeah.
You know? So that was the boost that allowed me to go like, and I didn't know I was coming. So when I quit the job, I was like, damn, I have no money anymore. And I was like, nice, we got 20 more cars. But then I was like still operating out of that hayloft.
Yeah.
And I was like, where do we put these cars? People are giving me cars. I'm like, I don't know where to put these.
Yeah.
And I got a flat tire driving by this dealership, like a ripped tire, like a pothole. Pulled in this place. It's a biker dealership / used car dealership. And they're like, get off our like yard, kind of like you can't park there. I'm like, I have a flat tire. I can't do anything. And
how's the audio?
and guy came out, his name is Mama. And at first he was like, I was like, I don't belong here, you know? And probably like 20 days had passed. And this was like when I was about to quit my job. I went back there and I was like, you guys have a pretty empty parking lot right now for like, because it used to be an Eagle Rider. You know what Eagle Rider is? Mm-hmm. They used to rent bikes out. Mm-hmm. And during COVID, Eagle Rider went upside down. So they had all this parking outside and like maybe 30 used cars and a bunch of bikes inside. It's like, what if I rent your cars for you guys that you're upside down on? And this was without no presentation. This was just me walking in there with like a Tesla t-shirt on. And I said, what if I rent your cars out, you guys keep 75% of the money, and I can operate here for the cost of electricity. And that was the deal I got initially. So I paid them like $400 a month, which was probably overpaying electricity, and I rented their cars out for them. And that's when I got that space, it made it easier for these Turo people. And they're like, where do you keep your cars? Well, I got this spot here. And when people come into the airport, it's like I had this office, I had this whole location. It was just like a temporary, I mean, it was like, they're very biker guys. Yeah. So like the people on the outside, biker people are super nice, like super loyal, super good people. On the outside is like this biker gang shop. It's like, what's going on here, you know? Yeah. And it's like, these guys are just like rough on the outside, super, super good people. Yeah. So that was an important jump. And if you want to go full-time on Turo stuff, you have to have the presence of a business that you can't be operating at your house. Yeah. Especially if you want other people to like, I wouldn't say invest in you, but like partner and trust you.
And it creates credibility. I mean, there's a lot of angles to it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then the one thing that also helps starting out, and it's easy to make websites nowadays. Our website, because I made it such a long time ago, was ranked so high for Tesla rentals. So our ability to like have people find us, like we don't monetize that well enough, in my opinion. Yeah. I haven't touched the website since we made it, and it's like what I said. I could pull it up right now. It's getting like 10,000 views a month. That's a lot of traffic for what's the Squarespace site?
Yeah.
It's just
That's what we did. We just built one.
So many people are looking for Tesla rentals. It's insane. And the
Yeah.
funniest part is when we moved, we had the location verified on Google Maps. People were showing up looking for Tesla service because they were just typing in Tesla, and we were showing up high enough that they thought this was like the service location. So people all kind of were just pulling in, like, where do we park? Where? I was like, this isn't Tesla there.
That's so funny.
So-
You could have created a whole other business off of that.
Yeah, no, I told them, I was like, you guys should go get certified for Tesla service.
Yeah.
Because they already think it's here anyways.
That would have been genius. I think we'll probably do maybe another segment down the road about the larger scale things, maybe for people that are more advanced in it and
Yeah.
different ways to look at it.
Yeah, I was surprised that you guys didn't have car sync yet.
Yeah.
And when I was in Maui, we rented from someone, and she had like 900 trips. Pretty good size house. Don't know how many cars she had. I didn't look into it. And she didn't have car sync. And that's like, I mean, car sync's easier to operate out of than Turo itself
Yeah.
by like a good margin.
And but there's more than just the operating side of CarSync. There's like the analytics
You got
and like the
the
maps.
tracking of your cars. I would
Yeah.
get Bouncy. If you don't have Bouncy, it goes in the ODB port. It takes like
This
2
isn't
seconds.
sponsored by CarSync.
This isn't?
No, this isn't.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to, you can sponsor
Yeah,
this.
so like the tech stack we have for starting out, like CarSync, even if you have one car, it does 2 things. One, if you get someone your Turo login, they could hypothetically screw you over, change the logins, change the banking account, you're in trouble. If you have CarSync, you can give them specific access to just check cars in. So you can add people to your team. So if you get to 5 cars and you need cousin Jimmy over here to come help you out one weekend because you want to go to Cabo, you can just give him access just to check-ins and check-outs. And then you have your automations.
And so we signed up for it, and we haven't had to pay for it. Is it
it's
free?
free. It's free.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know. I think his name's Nicola. Have you seen it? Are you in his Facebook group? It goes down like once every quarter. Like they have issues. They're like a startup company.
Yeah.
It's free, and he said it's gonna be free, and they pay for it by different creative ways. So I think they get their money from partnering with Bouncy and having that sync there, partnering with HQ. Because I know we pay HQ for our private rentals to sync to CarSync. I think we pay them $200 a month.
Okay.
So like just to have that sync, I'm sure CarSync's getting cut of that. And like CarSync can do hire car, HQ, so your private rentals, Turo. Let's see what else it can have. It's got.
I'm surprised they don't. I would think that they would charge like a monthly, like a software, like a $100 a month. Or
No,
like,
get around,
crazy.
hire car, HQ, Turo.
I wonder if they're building the network, and then they're gonna come in and.
Potentially, I think that side revenue is extremely smart because paying per car, unless you're a big host, like they're getting a lot of data.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Maybe they're a data
they're
company.
operating. Yeah,
just
they're operating as a
collecting
data company. I mean, automations are big. The tracking is big.
Yeah.
The reimbursements is probably the biggest for us. If you have Teslas, you are pulling your PDFs at every single supercharging event, and you have to go in. You have to upload all those individually. On here, it's one button. You go to the trip, click reimbursements. It's connected to the Tesla accounts, and it pulls
That's
all up,
crazy.
like itemized invoices.
Wow.
So that's big. That's huge for us because that's
It kind of takes all the different pieces and puts it all
pulls
into
all
one.
together, and they move fast. Like if you go into the CarSync chats, you'll see that people like Mark. I think is it Mark Juan or whatever his name is at LA.
Yeah.
He's big in that chat, and he comments how fast if we need something in CarSync, it will change in CarSync.
No
and Turo
way.
just won't update stuff. Like Turo's like photo uploading thing, we can upload photos into the trip messages automatically through CarSync.
That's
Like when
crazy.
people book
I mean,
it.
you can run the full thing. You don't even touch Turo.
Yeah, like our run rate right now is just under 80,000. Like you saw like what our October, when we have all these new cars, we'll easily with our own cars hitting 80,000 a month in run rate. Like it's $1 million a year company on a free app that it's not an app actually, it's just a web browser.
Yeah.
You just save it on your phone.
Yeah.
And like you've officially operated $1 million company just from a free software.
That's crazy.
Which is kind of mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it is, and it's the features on it are really nice.
Yeah.
And it's
you
well
can
built.
see if you miss checkouts.
Oh.
So sometimes you'll miss the 24
Can you
hour
review
period.
people on there?
No. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
the one thing that I wish they had because I'm never in Turo.
Yeah.
No one's ever in Turo. I only have to log in and Nick.
Yeah.
So all the daily employees, like I went and did like 42 reviews this last night from like this last weekend's trips. Because
What do you do? Just 5-star, 5-star, 5-star?
Yeah, unless someone stands out. If someone complains, like if it's like I call them like nothing against LA, the LA vibe. If they get like snotty for no reason, or if they're like rude to other employees,
Yeah.
I'm either a 5 or a 1. There's no like 4-star.
Really?
They're decent. It's either
Holy.
we will rent to you again, or we won't.
And do you leave descriptions, or is it just?
We have like a pre-populated thing, like great renter took you in a car.
Okay.
You would have, and when I say 1, like it's a valid. Like you might be giving them a 3 if you were like to someone else, but
Yeah.
I want to be very clear to the next person. It's like I hate if I see someone gets a 3-star review because like this could be like.
What is this, good or bad?
Yeah, is it actually that bad? Because if it's bad, you never want to see them again. Give them a 1-star.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to like make very clear to someone else on Turo. It's like 1-star. And I think I comment. We only most 1-stars. I say we only do 1 or 5-star reviews. It's rent again to them or never rent ever again.
Oh.
And that's what I comment.
Because I was just thinking, I
And
was
I
like,
don't even-
where's the tipping point? But it's like, well, I don't want to rent to this person again, or it's
Yeah,
I
well, I
haven't
would
rented
even,
it
and
again.
it might not even be anything with the car. Like say they're just rude to an employee. Like we had
Yeah.
someone like try to like be rude to like our 19-year-old college intern. And
Yeah.
it's like he told me, he's like, yeah, this person was an asshole. So I just put like a note in my head. I was like, hey, this person's tripping. We'll give him 1 star, and just gave it to him. I was like, we don't want those people.
Yeah.
Nor do anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that's the part I like. Those people, the snotty people, I think enjoy Turo the least. Because like you have to be like, it's a marketplace. You have to be a fairly good person or people are going to react differently to you. And it's not just, you can go into hurts and cuss them out and be mad and they're not going to do anything back to you.
Yeah.
They are employees and it's like, these people like, hey, if you're rude to us, like we'll just give you 1 star review and you'll never really get a booking on Turo again. So it's just going to finite like the bad people out of there, hopefully.
Yeah, it'll cycle them out
And
for
I wish
sure.
more people did the 1-star, 5-star aspect.
We don't do that. That's so
Because
interesting.
then it's super easy for the next people. Like if you see a 1-star review on somebody, if you give them a 4, they'll be like a 4.98. You know, like
Yeah.
they've had their trips. Give them a 1, they're gonna drop to like a 3 something, and you're gonna
Yeah.
notice it on their booking.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's a big, that's
Yeah.
like from a 5 to a 3, that's a
Mhm.
big difference.
Big difference, and that's.
And if it's their first review and you give them 1, like that's,
100%. And
they're almost
they
done.
Won't, they won't come back on like the trips. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They'll
like,
have to either create a new account or they're
the
just
funniest
talking to
parts is like there's one guy that was like crazy.
Yeah.
We did a really crazy event, and the guy was just like super entitled, all this stuff. And I was curious because it was his first trip, and I like kind of like saved it on my computer, and I have too much time apparently. But I went back and looked at like 3 months later, and I noticed he must have told the guy. He probably was like, this guy was an asshole on this side, but he had the next review was like, please ignore the first 1-star review. This guy was super nice and all this stuff, and I was like, that's either his friend who has a Turo account,
Yeah.
or some guy who like he tried to like be hyper nice and make up for it because the
Yeah.
guy might have been having a bad day, but don't take it out on like a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and it's like we probably give out 1-star a month for perspective.
Okay.
So it's
Okay,
like
that's not very much.
we would re-rent to people who don't bring the car back perfect, all that stuff. But if you're like rude or if you trash or smoke in the car, 1 star.
Wow.
And the comment literally is just would rent to again, would not rent to again. That's how we rate people.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because you can't. They need to be put in the proper place.
Yeah, and it needs to be clear and concise because if someone has a bad review and the host writes like 10 paragraphs,
Yeah.
I'm never going to read that. I don't know what this person did now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just let me know if you'd rent to them again.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. I hope that anybody got some information from this. A lot of good back and forth information, I think. Do you want to plug any, like your website or any socials or anything?
So it's Arizona Tesla Rentals right now. We're rebranding to obviously more of a national brand, so that's TBD. We have some LLCs like reserved. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got right now. Arizona Tesla Rentals on Instagram. I think that's
Oh, you
what
guys
we're
have
most
Instagram?
following. Yeah, I think we have like 1,000 people.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I know. It's like the hashtag groups.
You should do,
You
whenever
just
people
hashtag-
rent, like follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, we just like you just do hashtag Tesla, hashtag plaid on
Yeah.
the photos. You'll get like 4 followers every picture you
Yeah.
post because people are scrolling through. And we have a kid. His name's Tyler Hall. Shout out Tyler Hall.
Yeah.
He takes our photos and he's like really, really good. So if you go through our tour photos, they're all like super
They look
professionally
good.
done.
They look really nice.
And you could tell which cars first got listed to when we got Tyler because the photo quality like increased like exponentially. So our photos were like 4K.
Yeah.
They're like super good.
What do you pay him?
$50 car. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
That's
a
good.
good
That's
deal.
good.
Oh, that's a really good deal.
Well, I'll get his number.
We were charged. I think we were getting the first guy we talked to was like $125 a car.
Okay. So I mean, because you're doing so many, it's
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we got the $50 car rate, it was we had done half-ass photos this whole time. We had gotten to 50 cars. I told him we would give him every single car if we did $50 car, and then he's like,
it's a good gig.
But the issue is, before we had this building, we were outside, and he wanted to be at sunset or sundown, so that it wasn't like reflecting or whatever. So it was like a clearer photo.
Yeah.
So we could only do like 2 or 3 cars a day because the
Oh.
sun was going down.
Yeah.
But now we have a parking garage. It's any time of day, really.
That's
and take
nice.
photos.
That's nice.
So
That's great. Well, thanks again for watching. If you guys wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and commenting anything else you want to see in the future. Again, my name is Max, and this is Justin, and I'll see you in the next video.
awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.